Hello, classmates. Scary movies are on the way, Teenage Mutant Ninja Sequels, and the gang weighs in on Alex Garland Civil War.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call!
Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And we have a banner show, a spectacular show for you today. And Tyler's back. Tyler's back in the house.
Yeah, big
I know
news.
a lot of people were.
Whoa, hold on.
Hold on a second.
Wait.
Hold on.
Tyler's destroyed our set.
I just moved my elbow back. I didn't know it was that close.
Tyler's confused about
It's been too long.
the machinations of this studio. He's only been here. No, it's on the edge right there.
Oh, right here?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay. I apologize.
Hey, nice
for
and
that.
blue.
Okay. All right.
I apologize
Well,
for that.
a seamless intro back into the show today.
Right. Part of the course.
Well, actually, I was thinking about this. Javier was here last week. And when I'm gone, I have a little theme that I made for myself.
Yeah, like a 12-minute long.
Right.
Yeah, like a 12-minute long
or
theme.
roll out a victorious reclamation to the show.
And so I figured that I'd make one for Tyler.
Oh, cool.
So Tyler,
Let's hear it. All right.
Tyler's back.
Tyler's back.
Tyler's
All right.
back, everybody.
It's great to be back, guys.
That was
It's
good.
great to be back. How about you have Javier as a host now? How about that?
he lives in San
It
Diego.
seems,
He's
it
a
seems like everyone prefers him over to me.
He's a hot commodity. he's got PSA ads, public service announcements to do.
Yeah.
He's doing more important
It's a very
things.
busy.
Yeah, than this.
Yeah.
Objectively not important show. But entertaining, I hope. Hi, Joseph Bridges in the chat. What's up, buddy? How are you? Oh, he wants some dump talk. Well, how was the dump?
Oh, yeah, the dump.
Oh,
the
dump.
reason, the glorious reason why you had to miss our show.
Well, Joseph, it was a colossal disappointment.
Oh, really?
It was a colossal disappointment because the last time I went to the dump, they corralled us into a huge pile of stuff that you could look through.
Things.
And I remember, I think I was like preteen. I was looking through all the trash and I found some cool things. But this time around, if anyone who's coming onto the show right now, I had to miss the show because I had to help the old man.
Said that. Well, what did you get from the dump?
Nothing.
What did you?
Scabies?
It was. What's really like an interesting thing is that when you go to the dump, especially like in this day and age, you just throw stuff onto the ground.
What did you do when you were a kid? You were like standing on the garbage and throwing it in?
I was climbing up mountains of stuff. But
Mountains of trash.
You say stuff that's garbage, Tyler. It's not stuff, it's trash.
I don't know if it's garbage, but we pulled up to this clearing and then we just throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It's a literal pile of trash out there. Where you want to put it?
Well, I don't know, but it just...
Wait a second. They don't have any trash cans out there?
It just seems...
You're just littering?
It just seems... It seems weird because you're going out into this beautiful clearing and then you're just throwing...
Beautiful.
I like how you... Yeah, it's beautiful. It stinks for a mile and a half prior to you arriving at your destination.
You can see the Sierra Mountains in the foreground.
You can also
it's
see
awesome.
the seagulls circling because of the shit.
There is a lot of seagulls there.
I know.
There's a lot. Oh, I saw a bald eagle, though.
No, you
eagle.
didn't.
I have a picture of it.
You didn't see a bald eagle.
No, it was.
In Sacramento at a landfill.
I literally have a picture of it.
Okay. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, but I just don't believe you.
I have a picture of it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, the dump was a colossal disappointment because I wanted to find a sword.
No one's throwing away swords.
You know what? You're going into your expectation that you're going to receive a sword for free from the dump. Number one, that's functional. Number two, you have a very specific idea in mind. That's like when someone watches a movie and they're like, I thought it was going to be like this, and I was disappointed. It's like, that's on you, buddy.
It's like watching Transformers and discovering it's not about electricians.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it was a disappointment, but I'm glad to be back in the studio.
We're glad to have you back.
And kibitzing with you guys.
Yeah, as much shit as we talk, we're glad to have you back.
Oh yeah, I heard that last episode.
Did you like
How was it?
Javier's impression of you?
Yeah. Yeah.
He pulled out some of the old classics. How dare you?
Yeah.
Take the shears to that. He said.
And-
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Very good. Did you watch Blackberry?
No.
Joseph, you owe me $10. I bet. I said, in no way, shape, or form did Tyler watch Blackberry.
Why don't you watch Blackberry? It's got your Glenn Howerton in it.
Because because I wasn't going to be on the show. Like, why would
So
I?
I'm not going to watch a movie if I don't have to.
Yeah.
I would have to rent it.
No,
No, you
it's
don't. It's on Hulu.
Oh,
which we talked about.
that's right. That's
all
right. You're
episode.
right. That was completely lost on me. I apologize.
Anyways, let's
should-
get into some proper gab and chatter.
Oh, okay.
Find some charity, ye lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Gab and chatter, movie news of the week. Tyler, what do you have for us?
All right. So I have a news story from the Hollywood Reporter. There's a new scary movie coming out. You guys remember Scary Movie?
What's it
Like the movie Scary Movie.
Yeah, the movie Scary.
Oh,
like
from the franchise.
Yeah, the franchise. It's coming out from Paramount. I don't know if it's going to be streaming or not. I think they're going to try
We won't know until like literally the week before.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to try to do a theatrical release or not, which I think they should.
Of course they should.
I think they should.
The series
because,
was profitable.
And well, I really like the Scary Movie franchise. Like, I think in the era of when those kind of spoof movies were coming out, I think Scary Movie came out in the lead.
It was the clear stand apart. Not another teen movie was a pretty good spoof.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But then it really went down the hill with Meet the Spartans and superhero movie and some.
As soon as they passed Scary Movie 3, it was, it went downhill from there.
Three's the one with
Signs.
They're making fun of signs.
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen's the president.
Yeah, right.
That's a great one.
Interestingly enough, Miramax is also behind the project, which will be shooting this fall.
They did the original
2024.
ones, too,
Yeah,
right?
it was Dimension Films, which is a division of
Right.
Miramax.
Dimension.
Dimension, yeah, which is funny because Scream was also released by Dimension.
Is that right?
Yeah, they
I
parodied
didn't even
themselves.
make that connection. So Paramount and Miramax are making a new take on the franchise and expect to go before cameras. That's a weird sentence. And expect to go before cameras in the fall. I don't know.
First time Tyler's reading that sentence ever.
That's not true, but it just.
It basically means they're trying to shoot before fall.
Yes.
Yeah,
This fall.
yeah.
So this is actually interesting that I didn't know is that Scary Movie launched in 2000, which I think Scream launched in 99 or 98, like somewhere around that time. And just a few years after Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer arrived on the scene to dominate the horror landscape, director Keenan Ivory Wayne's feature grossed $278 million globally.
That's a pretty good take for a
comedy?
parody comedy horror movie.
Right.
It's pretty good for basically what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Scream dominated the early 2000s, and I think the last movie came out in 2013. So they're trying to reboot it. I don't know. They have a lot of content that they can parody right now.
Since 2013, there's 11 years of great horror movies in there.
Exactly.
So we could do some Hereditary stuff. We could do some
Midsommar.
Well, they would
Some
definitely
Witch.
parody an A24 horror movie.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, just the trope of
There's got to be
horror.
like the lockdown image of the person's face and horrified with fire behind them or something.
And so, like when I looked up the story, I was thinking, okay, so when they do the reboot, it's going to be it's going to be an A24 horror parody, and I am all for it. I am
And
all
Blumhouse.
for it.
Yeah,
and Blumhouse
for
too,
sure.
Yeah,
I feel like Blumhouse would be the expectation because
Right.
like you're talking. It made fun of The Ring. The old ones made
Right.
fun of Scary Movie.
What have we had that is like equivalent to Scream though? Because like, that was
we
like
still have Screams.
I know, but I guess we still do have Scream movies.
They'll make fun. I think I'm going to call it
Didn't
right
they
now.
already remake the Scream movie?
Yeah, it got kind of like soft rebooted, but it's
Yeah.
actually more like a requel.
Oh, okay.
It's still in the same universe.
The last two movies are kind of considered requels, but I'm going to call it right now. I think that they're going to make a joke about how Ghostface has a gun because in Scream 7 or Scream 6 or whatever, he had a shotgun. And,
shotgun.
and purists were like, "No way, not my Ghostface. He uses a knife."
No, a knife.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. I'm glad that they're going to be soft. I wouldn't even say soft rebooting. They're just
We don't know. It
making
could be a sequel. It could be anything.
I think they're going to play on that too. I think they're going to play on about it being like a sequel. And
Yeah, I don't know who would like. Did they say who would be writing it?
No writing credits yet, but there
No.
is a producer attached, which is the guy that did Fast and Furious.
oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
The Fast and Furious, like of the Fast and Furious.
We don't know if it's an entire franchise, but it just
Not
says
the parody Fast and Furious
No.
movie.
I don't think. Is there a parody?
Yeah, there was a parody.
There
I can't-
was?
Yeah, there was. I can't remember the name of it though.
Was
Oh.
it
It's
Speed
not
Racer?
No.
There was a Fast and Furious parody movie.
Interesting.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Is
Well,
that-
anyways, yeah, that's
I'll watch it. I can't wait.
I will watch it as well. I can't.
Parody movies are great when they're great, and when
haven't-
they're bad, they're very bad.
Yeah, they're very bad.
The
but
the
you
movie
know,
was called Super Fast.
super.
Never heard of
have
that.
never
Parody
even
movie.
heard of that.
Yeah, called Super Fast with an
But-
exclamation point.
They wrote that about my love life in the 20s, in my 20s, my college years.
But yeah, it also got me thinking too. It's like, when is the last time that we had like a modern parody movie? Like when was the last time
Dix
that?
the musical.
Oh,
That wasn't a parody movie.
I don't know if that's.
It's a parody of a good movie.
Parody of a musical, maybe.
But I was thinking, because this was so prevalent in the early mid 2000s, that we haven't seen one in quite some time in our society. So I was thinking,
We're due for a good parody movie.
we are due. Yes, exactly. We are due for a good parody, and from the giant franchise that is Scary Movie.
Yeah, there are a number of more kind of recent ones.
Super Fast.
So Shaun of the Dead is the closest one I can see that is like a true parody movie.
Okay,
It's not even really a parody
No,
movie.
it's not.
No, that's really
Yeah, you're-
it's
you're
It's just
really
a different
original.
spin on a zombie movie.
Yeah. I don't know, but we're getting the Leslie Nielsen or Liam Neeson Naked Gun soon, and that's a straight up parody of
That's right,
those
yeah.
movies. So maybe the renaissance of the parodies is back.
We're back.
I think. Well, I think.
Cinema back.
Well, I think the 19 cloaked our world with darkness, and now
We're finding they're
creatives-
funny again.
creatives are like, okay, you know what? We got to make. Actually, you know what? No, the executives in Hollywood, they're saying, okay, we got to make the world laugh again. Like this, like enough is enough. We've done the dark. We've done the dark shit. Now we got to go into the light.
All right, cool, awesome. Anything
But
else on that?
no, that's it.
Beautiful. Okay, Joseph, what do you have to talk about today?
I have a couple of things. First, did you guys watch the Joker trailer, the new one?
I did.
Oh
Yeah, I
yes.
did.
Yes,
Okay, so we
yes.
both all watched the trailers.
Yes,
We're not
correct.
I'm not participating in no trailer 2024.
No, I was very curious.
They didn't include any tease of any musical numbers or
What are you talking about? Yes, they did.
Yeah, there was.
but we didn't see them singing really.
Oh no, they
no,
did.
that's
Yeah,
what I
okay,
mean.
Okay.
They had that Elvis Costello, "What the World Needs Now"
right.
song.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So I would say based off the trailer, it's probably looking kind of as good as the first one did, like going into
Quality
it.
wise, yeah.
Quality wise, right? I'm curious as to how. So Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar for his performance
Right.
as Joker, right?
Yeah.
And based on what we've seen so far from the trailer, it seems like he's going to be delivering the same quality of performance. It's seemingly right.
Yeah, of course. I think.
And let me get this out.
Sorry. Go ahead.
And
Sorry.
I'm curious as to if it is the same exact quality of performance.
Yeah.
Would it be recognized again?
Well, that, interesting question. Like,
Since it was done already, would it be done again? And I know it would have to be based on what other movies and performances come out the rest of this year.
yeah,
Would it be as
lauded.
I guess so as the first time,
I think.
or is it like we've already seen this?
I think. Well, so I'm very curious about what the story is going to be about. However, I think Lady Gaga is probably going to be the star of this movie, because from what I saw in that just small trailer, she looked fantastic.
Okay.
So you think she would be the more recognized performance?
I think so.
Out of this sequel.
I think so. Like, Joaquin Phoenix is a phenomenal actor, but Lady Gaga, like, just based on that trailer alone, looked like she was going to be like the star of the show. Of course, I think she's going to be singing. I'm curious how well, actually, I'll get into that a little bit later, but
Later, we're talking about it now.
well, no, about Joaquin Phoenix and his singing. But
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, I think Lady Gaga is going to be the standout performance in that movie.
So you don't think that he will be as recognized as he was? His performance won't be as recognized as the first time.
Yeah, correct. I can't
think of a single person that was nominated for a role as a character and then nominated again for the sequel of the same character.
Ooh, that would be a good list.
But I just looked it up, and Alien, Sigourney Weaver was not nominated, but in Aliens, she was.
Really?
Best actress in a leading role.
She was phenomenal.
For
in
Aliens,
both of
she was
those.
nominated for an Oscar?
Aliens, yeah.
Really? Interesting.
She was nominated Best Actress, nominated for Best Art Direction, Set Direction, nominated for Best Sound, nominated for Best Editing, and winner of Best Sound Effects Editing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. James Cameron, he knows how to pull those strings at the
Also
Academy.
won Best Visual Effects and nominated for Best Score.
Yeah.
For Aliens. Alien, I don't think it was nearly as universally loved.
So what do you think, Pete?
No, I don't think so.
Actually,
You don't think what?
I don't think that even if he does the same performance, it's going to be like what you said. We've seen this before.
Right.
Do something different, which I'm into the idea of this musical because who the fuck needs a sequel for Joker? So just do something weird with it. Do something, go off page.
You know what? Because I meditated on that because at first when I heard it was going to be a musical, I groaned. I was like, God damn it. Like, really? Like, why? Like, it was such a good standalone film. But like, after watching this trailer, I was very intrigued. I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how this is going to turn out. I don't really like Lady Gaga as an actress.
Why?
Have you seen Star is Born?
She's beautiful.
Well, that's relevant.
She's so hot. She's a great actress.
I didn't
Olivia Colman. Ew.
I didn't like her in Star is Born. I actually didn't like that movie that much.
Yeah, that movie kind of sucked.
That movie,
I loved it.
We're going off topic, but that movie was more Oscar baity than Maestro was to me.
I can see it.
But that's just kind of like Bradley Cooper's directing movies.
Yeah,
is just like he wants it. You can see it.
Give me that Oscar.
But it'll be interesting. I've seen some like funny comments on this, and I already seen like watching the trailer. I like thought in my brain how it looked like La La Land. A lot of shots and similarities, and then people all of a sudden were making these comparisons, and then you could see the inspirations behind some of the shots in the trailer, and then
the comparison.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because I think the trailer for the Joker 2 movie gave more views to La La Land because on my TikTok feed, like I was getting a lot of La La Land like clips.
And I didn't come up with this, but I thought this was really funny. It's one of the top comments on one of those videos was for Joker 2 was Haha Land.
Indeed.
Haha Land. That's
Great
I wish
stuff, man.
I wish it was Joker 2 Haha Land. I wish that's what it was called.
I think Bruce he said something about it. He said the umbrellas of Arkham.
Because people have umbrellas.
No, it's like there's a umbrellas of Chambord or whatever the name is. It's like a famous French like musical. I've never seen it before.
Oh, I never heard of it.
You never heard of it?
No.
I don't even know the name of the umbrellas of Chambord.
Chambord.
It's French.
Manborg.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it though.
All right. Well, that's that. My next news story is that we're getting another live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh,
that is going to be geared towards adults and R-rated.
Oh, hell yeah.
An R-rated TMNT
live action. A live action. Now,
oh my god.
First question is, are they going to go the route of the 90s TMNT movies?
Really live action?
The turtles are a lot live and not animated.
Like they have the costumes and everything. Oh my god.
Or are they going to do live action like the Disney reboots?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bullshit.
And it's coming from Paramount. Paramount, and it's going to be based off of a series, like a graphic novel series called The Last Ronin.
Oh yeah, I read that. It's a good one.
And it will be produced by Walter Hamada and penned by one of the co-writers from Boy Kills World, a new Bill Skarsgård movie coming out later this month. That looks very violent. So I can imagine that that's
cool.
Would also be of that same violent nature.
That's very risky. That's a very risky thing to do.
Listener Steven's gonna be loving this. He's a big Turtles fan.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Like Turtles are cool. I was never really a big fan of them, but I always enjoyed watching those '90s live action movies.
Oh, I thought you said that you weren't a fan of the animal turtles.
Who is not? Who doesn't like? Who hates turtles?
Yeah, I know.
It'd be a weird.
Exactly.
It'd be a weird stance to have.
I know.
I hate them.
That's like
Turtles. Yeah.
first date red flag material.
It's a strange prejudice. They're so slow.
Yeah, what do you think about turtles? I could do without them.
Lazy. Don't even get me started on snails.
That's
Snails. Oh, there's some snails outside.
Yeah, I saw
It's
that.
raining.
Yep.
I'm actually not a snails fan. I don't like snails.
Well,
They eat my plants.
Well, that's true. They're a pest. But yeah, no, an R-rated TMNT.
I'm down. I'm down with it.
I don't even know what to think.
You read the comic, right?
Yeah,
You
well,
said, isn't that one violent?
it is. It
Okay.
is. But just to how do you
Why do kids get everything? Why do kids get everything? Teenage
Kids?
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Yeah, give the fuck. I'm an adult.
Adult Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
I want to watch the Teenage Turtles.
They're gonna
Like
they're
a
gonna
creep.
So when they
go. I have a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Chucky.
When they release the trailer, it has to grab.
Well, they're gonna have a Red Band trailer.
Well, yeah, but it has to grab an audience because I feel like this is such a niche sort of subject matter.
Deadpool meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well.
Oh, I sold Tyler on
There
it
you
already.
go.
Count me in.
All right, anything else, Joseph?
No, just expect that. I don't know when that would. It's no release date for that. The most recent
Yeah, just
Turtle
expect
content
that
that,
then, I
we've
guess.
gotten.
Exactly.
Is that what? Okay. The most recent Turtle content we got was the Mutant Mayhem, which was definitely more geared towards children.
Super fun.
But that was super fun to watch. But yeah, that's it.
Cool. Awesome. First off, my stories feel better. Joe Bridges, he's in bed right now, sick. He says this show is the one to heal me.
Oh,
I actually asked if that was, and now he says Eagles at the dump. Now we're talking. That's the kind of content I tune into this show for, baby.
I literally do have a picture of a bald eagle.
All right, put it on the Facebook page.
I will. I will. You know what?
You remember the
I just
logins?
will. No, I don't.
Okay, well, maybe email to text
Email
it.
it.
Email, yeah. Email it to my assistant.
Print it out.
She'll text it to me.
Okay.
Send a letter.
We'll scan it in.
Wait a minute. You have a PA?
Yeah, that's right. She's downstairs watching or playing The Last of Us too. Remake. Okay, cool. So my new story, I have nothing super topical, but I have a message from Jack Fitzpatrick of Let's Crash This Parade YouTube channel. So I'm going to play that right now.
Fitz.
Hey, it's your number one MCFCF. I have a question from abroad for you American guys, and it's that when you're watching like a shitty action movie and there's like an evil terrorist character and they're like, I want to kill the Americans or whatever, do you guys like as Americans get triggered by that? Do you fall for that? Because I feel like as a non-American, I do. I get manipulated by it. I'm like, God, this evil guy, they really got to take him down. But like you guys personally as Americans, does it affect you personally in that kind of way? Or are you smarter than that and it's just like a dumb movie thing?
So
I don't know. Let me know.
just the thought I had.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay.
So his question is, do we get offended that there's a terrorist trying to kill Americans specifically?
Is it effective? Because I think in his mind, it's.
Is it effective in offending as an American, someone who's not an American trying to kill Americans? Is that the question?
maybe not offending, but like
I don't mean like I'm offended by
Is it
it.
effective?
Yeah.
Is the fear
Is
real?
it effective in offending me?
I'll say this. I watched The Rock recently.
Right.
I rewatched the Michael Bay's best movie, in my opinion. And
Not the island? You like that?
no, the Island's good. I like the Island. I like the Island more than most.
I haven't
but-
seen The Rock, but I love the island.
You haven't seen
You
The
haven't
Rock?
seen The Rock?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Why isn't this movie The Town? It's set in San Francisco. There's a great hilly car chase.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage has never been better. Actually, that's not true.
Yeah,
well,
I just
but-
watched Con Air.
Oh, you did?
Well, yeah.
Well, 3 weeks ago.
So very much in that wheelhouse, but less cheesy.
I always got those movies confused
Yeah,
because
I
of
could see why.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, put down the bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
He doesn't say that. He doesn't talk about how his hands are registered weapons.
Yeah.
But he does pretend to be a badass. Well, he's not, which I feel like is what Nicolas Cage really should be doing. Anyways,
Right.
in The Rock, these mercenaries are basically threatening to shoot this gas bomb at San Francisco. And I was thinking, man, that would be absolutely like life-changing if that were to happen out here.
Right.
You know,
Bomb?
Yeah, like literally kill.
Have a gas bomb brewing right now.
350,000 people die in an instant with one of those, and they got like 6 of them. So and it's they're all trained because they're on Alcatraz, and they trained the rockets at San Francisco, and that was effective.
Well, what's their motivation?
You'd have to watch the movie.
No, just tell me.
They're basically trying to bring justice for like their military brethren that were killed in the line of duty, but were basically written off by the government as they never existed. They were giving unceremonious burials, and were not given.
Are they Americans attacking Americans?
Yes.
Oh, sounds justified.
Well, you'd have to watch the movie. It's a good movie because you see a little bit of what Ed Harris is like, the leader of the bad guys, what his motivation is, and you're like, okay, yeah,
you can sympathize.
That's pretty fucked up. Yeah, you can sympathize a little bit. And how far would you go though? Would you kill 300 million or 300,000 people to give justice to like the lives of 4 mercenary or like Delta Force people that died behind lines of combat and were not given their ceremonial duty? Their families not given their retirement or whatever.
Yeah, Ed Harris was just basically, I'm going to teach you a lesson.
Pretty much. And the way I'm going to do it is with potentially millions of lives killed.
Yeah, genocide.
Okay, well, that's an interesting villain.
Yeah, it is. It's good. And I won't spoil it because I really think it's worth watching with fresh eyes how the villain's intentions change throughout the runtime of the movie. So
I think that the question... my brain went immediately to True Lies when Jack asked that.
Well, it's because of that offensive racist accent that he did.
Right, yeah.
Right, Jack? Oh, I'm going to kill Americans.
Oh, now you're doing it.
Yeah, I see. I'm quoting Jack, who is the racist in this scenario.
Okay.
Just kidding, Jack.
You know what?
It's your turn to talk.
Go ahead. Joseph was literally in the middle of a sentence.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's your turn.
Well, let's not do this.
Go ahead, do it. I'll talk after you.
I'm going to do that too when Tyler starts interrupting. Say what you need to say. It was very important.
Well, I was just going to say I don't give a shit. It doesn't affect me or anything like that. I don't get triggered or anything. If any sort of American hating foreign person wants to kill other Americans, I don't care. I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, do it. Just
I think at a certain point in America, and I think it was when this type of movie was being released, and like whenever it came out, people would be more like, yeah, America, because it was so great, right? That was our perceived or the
place in the world.
Yeah, it was just like, these people are attacking America, and America is known as the good guys, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah, from like Jack's perspective.
Yeah, and even from Americans' perspective,
sure.
But I when I look at villains, I think that these villains are doing these things because they don't see themselves as villains. They think that they're doing something. They think they're doing the right thing or the good thing.
Yeah,
right.
The just thing.
And it sounds like in The Rock, he sounds like he's doing what he thinks is the right thing or what he thinks is justice. For his fallen comrades.
Yeah.
Right. Which it makes an interesting feeling. Like Thanos thinks that he's doing a good thing, right?
Sure.
And he's kind of justified in his reasoning, and you sympathize with his character, and his reasoning in these movies. You haven't seen it, so you can't say anything.
I know. I'm just agreeing blindly.
And you're like, that doesn't sound so bad, but then you think half of the population or half of life in the universe,
where do they go?
They just evaporate, like vaporize.
Yeah, but where do they go?
Vaporize.
They're just
vaporize.
Have you seen it, right? That's where.
Yes, of course I have.
What happens when you die? That's what happens.
Yeah. Where do they go?
What do you mean? Where do they go? They just die.
Where do they? Well,
you're asking a more existential question.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
So, like a question of we're just gonna make an action movie, and America is the good guys, and these terrorists are the bad guys, and the plot is they're bad because they're attacking Americans.
Sure,
that's like a very shallow, just like thinking.
So for
of
us,
a story,
and for us, we're on the American side looking at it like they're attacking us, but Jack's on the outside saying, "Oh, they're attacking my friends over there."
Oh yeah.
What if Jack didn't know any Americans?
Wow.
Maybe that's different.
I don't know.
Then that's a movie.
What about these movies that have come out?
Jack's in the chat now.
Where like they watch a movie like True Lies or any other movie where the terrorist comes from another country, and then that country watches that movie.
Are they?
What is their perceived?
Maybe they're rooting for them.
I think that goes right into a little bit of the discussion of Civil War, because I heard Jason Kleberg and I were talking a little bit about the movie because he also saw it on an advanced screening. And this is Alex Garland Civil War.
Yeah.
You can go to the three of us since we're going to talk a little bit, but me and Joseph got to see it on an advanced screening this week, Alex Garland Civil War.
Where was my invite?
It was when you're working. You chose that job. No whining.
And we wouldn't invite you anyway.
Yeah.
You always mention this, and you know why.
Yeah. No offense or anything, but you're terrible to watch movies with, and you know it.
I know, that was the bit. Come on, go along with it.
We just want to open that wound up again. As a sadist.
It hurts.
Yeah, so...
It hurts so good.
So we saw this Alex Garland Civil War on Monday, and I heard Kleberg mention a very apt description. He said that the political stance for Civil War felt like the political stance of Top Gun Maverick, where the villain on the other side is, you don't know if they're
faceless.
You don't know who they are.
Uzbekistanian or Russian or Chinese or anything. You don't even get to see them.
Right.
You don't see what color they are. You don't hear what language they're speaking. You don't know nothing about it. You just know those guys bad, us guys good.
Right.
And in this world of Alex Garland's Civil War, I think the hot topic issue that most people were thinking of before the movie came out was, well, whose side is he going to take? Who are the bad guys in this? Is it North versus South, and then South is clearly the bad guys because they want slavery?
Right.
Like almost anybody except for fucking idiot losers can agree upon.
Yeah.
Or is it he's going to take the South side and tell it from their perspective or whatever, be devil's advocate? Well, it wasn't that at all.
No, it wasn't.
How do you know?
Well, because I've read reviews on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's very apolitical.
Yes, it is in a way. The way I feel about it is that it doesn't tell you who the bad guys are in relation to our world. They're just people that act like that.
Right.
So in this world, we basically have, what is it? You have the president who's decided to stay in office for a third term.
Right.
That's the bad guy in this scenario. And you're kind of told from that perspective. And it doesn't tell you that at the beginning. It doesn't tell you that in the middle, but you're kind of embedded with these photojournalists and reporters that are talking about, we're going to go to the Washington, D.C., and we're going to interview the president, who is basically a dictator at this point. He's bombed his own people. He set up like this military government and whatnot. And you're kind of like, but is it justified? Is he staying in office because he's fighting? Because in Ukraine, for example, it's written into their constitution that you can't have elections during wartime because they don't want to change the national leader in midst of a war. Sure. So basically, Zelensky is in a position where he's now able to stay in office essentially forever until war's over.
Right.
If you were to say that in Russia, and say Putin's doing that, it would sound like a really bad thing because Putin is clearly a villain. So in this scenario of civil war, it's like, well, if they are in war, and let's just say Texas and California decided to secede, and now they are their own country, and they're like, we're going to blow up America. Well, clearly California and Texas, the Western forces in this world, clearly they're the bad guys, but they don't tell you how it started. They don't tell you what each side stands for. You're just in the middle, and it's just humans against humans, and it's all done on American soil. Yeah. So, Joseph, we made a standalone video about this, but give us your thoughts to the listeners that didn't watch the video.
When I came out of the theater, I was like, let me rewind a little bit. When I went into the theater, I was expecting a movie that would fill me with a sense of dread, and what in a movie like this, in this election year, in this our current state of political things, this is really going to ruffle some feathers.
Yeah,
right. But then when I came out of the theater, I was like, I didn't feel that way at all. I didn't feel like it was commenting on anything. I actually think that the movie The Hunt, was more of a movie that was saying more. It's like something more about the political parties, specifically. And that's more of just a comedy action movie.
Yeah.
This one is just like a action kind of thriller movie that is just placed in a world that is similar to ours, but doesn't really draw from our reality that much. Yeah. And it's definitely, because we're following the press. It's quite literally like a movie about the press and how war is covered and how like war photographers and what the things that they experience as almost like a third party.
I couldn't even imagine doing that.
And
It seems terrifying.
And I think that it kind of illustrated that point pretty well. And he, like Garland, known for his kind of like messaging, like more like subtle messaging in his previous movies, where you kind of have to, that means this, or that's a theme about this.
It forces you to think about what he's actually covering.
Whereas this one is just kind of like just presented to you, and it's as is. This is it. There isn't much deeper context to be pulled out of this other than
it's just a narrative of war photographers. Yeah,
and it was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was effective.
Yeah.
No, I heard this was Garland's best film.
Who'd you hear that from?
I heard that from you too. Like, I've been hearing it all over the internet.
But you know what's funny is that I've heard the exact opposite.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
And going to the back to the idea where it's like, I can't believe you would make a movie like this before anyone saw it.
Yeah.
But then now people have seen it. It's like, well, it doesn't have a message. What the hell? What do you want?
You can't please everybody.
It's irresponsible and reckless to release a movie like this during this year. I will not be seeing it. But then the people who do see it, but it didn't say anything. It had no message.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Bunch of whiners.
But to answer Jack's question, well, thank you for the message. Very much appreciated. But yeah, I don't give a shit.
Tyler doesn't care about anything, actually.
I don't. I'm very apathetic.
Especially being on time. That's for sure.
Oh, okay. We're not going to get into that.
30 minutes late.
Yeah, I know.
30 minutes late.
Yeah,
You're trying for a return.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the biggest things that I took away from Civil War, besides the fact that it was intense percussive audio that just really blew me away, stark imagery that I didn't expect. I don't know why I didn't expect to see from Garland, but he's used to doing the sci-fi stuff, and it's not a fantasy bit to be found anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
No fantasy, no sci-fi, no nothing.
Yeah.
But taking the feeling of a classic war movie or of a classic war scenario and putting that in the United States and changing almost nothing. Bartering with different currency. At one point they barter with Canadian currency because the United States dollar's worth shit. It's not worth anything.
Oh no.
And you're like, they don't comment on it besides just that one scene, but that's enough for you to put you in a place of this is how far gone the United States have gone. And there's like fuel rations that are mentioned and things like that.
Yeah.
The idea of you don't know who the guy next to you that you're walking down the street with is on the opposite side or your side because you speak the same language, you look the same, you're from the same place. There's even at one point where a guy is talking about someone he's basically torturing, and he's like, I know this guy. We went to high school together.
God damn.
It's a shame. Had to get him because he's looting.
I gotta watch this.
It's really impactful, but the thing that the biggest kind of like parallel that I have is I was listening to, I can't remember if it was a podcast or a show or what it was, but it was essentially like a black woman, and she was talking and says, well, sometimes my white friends will say something a little culturally insensitive, and I kind of check them on it. I'm like, that's kind of racist what you're saying. I know you don't think it, but that is. Oh, okay, well, teach me. And she says, it's not my job to teach you how to be racially sensitive. Why don't you learn on your own? Why do I have to go out of my way because I'm the black person to teach you not to be racially insensitive or whatever in that sense?
She could be the Sherpa though.
She could, but why is it her responsibility?
Yeah.
Why can't you, if you really want to know,
why can't you just know?
Just go out of your way to say specifically, it's I don't want to be the teacher. Like that person doesn't want to be the teacher all the fucking time.
You know what I mean? You just have to meditate on it, and when someone calls you out, and you're just like,
yeah, or just say my bad, and that's the learning. You don't need to learn this lesson from this person and be like, hey, my one black friend, can you teach me about racism? But so in this regard, the parallel to that is like, why does Alex Garland have to spell it out for you fucking people?
Yeah. Right.
Watch the movie, infer what you want. The person who's in the third term of the White House, that's the bad guy. Yeah. Who does he remind you of? Then figure it out. I don't need to fucking spell it out. I don't need to draw A to B in this scenario. Yeah. The heroism of the harrowing nature of the movie is that they're in war, and it's in Pittsburgh, and it's in Ohio, and it's in Virginia and Texas and Washington D.C. It's not in Islamabad and Tehran, and it's not in places all over the world. It's here amongst us. And how quickly you know, if you say, oh, well, that's the bad guy. That's the guy on the other side. I believe I'm on this side of this political spectrum. The guy in the White House is on the other side of the political spectrum. Clearly it's them. Well, maybe it wasn't. If you think that your side, political side, quote unquote, can't do what the other side is doing, you're fucking lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican.
Yeah.
He freed the slaves. At some point, there was this political slide that crossed in the middle, and it could happen again one day.
Around.
The far left is just as fucked up as the far right. Maybe not just as fucked up, but there's some very bad things on both sides of the political spectrum, and the grayness somewhere in the middle, the understanding that the other people. I think that I felt that very strongly when watching this movie. On top of the shocking nature of just how intense it fucking is.
The movie exists like outside of that spectrum.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like looking at it from a higher viewpoint.
Yeah. So I loved it.
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch it to determine if it really is like my favorite Garland movie, but it feels like his biggest. It's the most exciting. It's the largest scale.
Yeah.
It's definitely more exciting than like it's hard to say, but I always want to include Dredd into his.
It's about as exciting as Dredd.
Yeah.
It's on that level where there's a lot of action-packed set pieces, and you get to the next one, and you're like, holy shit, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So before we move on, just real quickly, I'm going to read listener Steven's review because he wrote in and he watched Civil War as well. He says, hey, gang, just got out of Civil War, beautifully shot. The sound was great. The intense scenes really had me holding my breath. I didn't care about any of the characters. The plot was basic. I'm getting tired of movies having a safe characters. 3 out of 5 strictly for the cinematic experience of sight and sound. And I've heard that very similar review from a lot of people. So
kind of feels like a scathing review.
It's weird. A lot of people are coming down on it like it's a great looking movie and the experience was exciting, but without the message there, they're not finding that like extra oomph to get it to the great level. It's just good.
Okay.
Well, they're just like looking too hard.
Yeah.
When it's you don't have to look that hard.
Binge Movies did an immediate reaction review about it and had some really great insight about it. Spent the whole time giving a really glowing review, and then ultimately it came down 3.5 stars. Wow. And I was like, wow. And it's kind of interesting how that is. So it's a very phenomena-centric movie. I think we're going to be talking about this for a while.
It's like polarizing in a different way.
Yeah.
Is it in just like how it presented the story as opposed to the story itself.
Yeah. And I will say the story is the weakest part because what happens, the death near the end is telegraphed pretty much from the whole time and you know what's going to happen. And when it does, gotta say pretty cheesy. Pretty cheesy. The actual death. I was like, really? That's, it's just.
It's kind of, it's
definitely one more take.
Definitely foreshadowed.
Yeah. So anything you want to say about Civil War before we move on?
Yeah. Still Alex Garland's best movie. I'm not like the biggest Garland fan, but it's his best movie.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now it's time for some stream picks.
Movies.
Want to watch a movie?
Yes, I do. Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Stream picks. Movies that we watch this week on our streaming services that you can watch too. Tyler, lead us off.
So we were mentioning about Joaquin Phoenix's singing abilities.
Okay.
And with that being said, I watched 2005's Walk the Line.
Oh, very cool. Very good.
That's streaming on HBO Max. I hadn't seen it in a very long time. Like it had been like possibly a decade since I saw it. And it is just a fantastic movie. Everything like just like the way like the filter looks like on the like it just looks like an old what? What?
Finish your review.
Huh?
I'm counting likes over here.
Okay.
Who was it that wrote in? It was Gossip Girl.
Oh yeah.
Gossip Girl's spinning in her grave right now.
She's still alive, I think.
Well, we haven't heard from her in a while. Who knows?
Well, anyways, everyone knows what Walk the Line movie is about. It's about the rise of Johnny Cash. And you know what inspired me to watch this movie again was because there was been a lot of Johnny Cash playing on the radio recently. I don't know why. I don't know if there's some sort of like
it's anniversary of his death or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But I've been hearing a lot of Johnny Cash, and I remember getting off of work and I was thinking, you know what? I think I'm gonna watch. I didn't even know it was streaming on HBO Max, but I went on my computer and looked up Walk the Line, And sure enough, it was streaming on Max. And I was like, fuck, yeah, awesome. And I think Joaquin Phoenix, the strange part is that he doesn't look like Johnny Cash. And I know, like, when you're doing like a biopic, you're not going to get someone
Close enough.
Yeah, no, not really.
Well, Austin Butler didn't look like Elvis, but
well, yeah, but Joaquin Phoenix, like, he wasn't loaded up on speed, so he didn't have like.
It's called
like,
acting. It's acting, acting boy.
Yeah, and it's a beautifully shot movie. The beginning of the movie is incredibly shocking. Do you guys
I haven't seen it in a long time.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's good.
So because like the buzzsaw scene. Like,
well, talk to us as if we're the audience that you're talking into the mic.
Like, I'm 5 years old.
Because they don't know.
Okay, so, Johnny Cash, he experienced a tragedy. His brother was buzzsawed to death.
They put it on his headstone.
Yeah.
Here lies Joseph, or cut in half, buzzsawed to death. But they actually show, like, the death scene and him, like, walking in on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
what a thing to walk in on.
I know, right?
What was he doing?
I think
buzzes.
I think it one of his shirts like got caught or something, and like
he was just working in the workshop.
Yeah, he was just working. I think it was a barn or something. But his father resented him and like blamed Johnny for his brother's death. And then that's how he started getting into country music. And he wanted to get into music, and he was like doing like the traditional sort of country music that was on the radio, thinking like that would make him some scratch.
Mm-hmm.
But like the producer of some random record company was like, yeah, no, we already have all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give him another chance, and then he starts playing the Walk the Line song, and then everyone kind of perks up. They're like, oh, we haven't heard this before. It's kind of like the precursor to punk rock, essentially. And so it doesn't, it kind of lulls a little bit, but I think what really brings you in is Joaquin Phoenix's acting.
How's his singing, though?
His singing is spot on.
Does he sing?
Yeah, he
Pretty
does.
sure.
Yeah, he does. He actually had to practice. He practiced for like several months with a singing coach to get that Johnny Cash like sound. And it's kind of like reminiscent to Jamie Foxx's singing too, like with Ray. It's like in that same vein. I think Ray came out like pretty close to Walk the Line, but I think Walk the Line, like, it just has like really good cinematography. Like, it really feels like you're in Arkansas, like in the beginning of the movie. There's that like hot, like barren land.
Ray came out the year before Walk the Line.
Oh, okay. So, well,
Still around the same time.
Yeah, in the heyday of music biopics.
Yeah, and I think both films are great too. I think Jamie Foxx just killed it. Although I think that they should have hired a blind man, but well, because he was blind.
So,
yeah,
it's called acting.
It's called acting. He wore contacts, so he couldn't see.
Is that right? He did? I had no idea.
Yeah, he wore contacts whenever he was filming.
Interesting.
Wow, that's dedication.
Now that's acting.
Now
you guys heard of this thing? Acting. You can just play someone else.
Yeah. I have a greater respect for Jamie Foxx for doing that. But
anything else, Tyler?
Well,
okay, it's a show. Is it a show you're going to talk about right now? Is it? Is it True Detective season 1? Was that going to be what you're going to say?
That's it.
Say what you're going to say, so we can make fun of you.
Well, I've been watching True Detective. Oh, God damn it. I knew it.
Season 3.
Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah. It's a great show. Check it out, classmates.
Get muted, noob.
Check it out. It's really great. It's about a detective with Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, huh?
Yeah, the Mahershala Ali.
All-time great
detective.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. But yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, Joseph, what do you have for streaming picks?
Well, before we get into that, great streaming pick, Walk the Line, great. I'm glad that you brought something different to the show.
Thank you.
But I want to go back to the days of when you were stream picking movies, like The Greasy Strangler. Like we had a whole saga of the Greasy Strangler. When's the next?
Yeah, when's the next good?
When's the
movie?
next gem?
Like
that
weird movie
you're gonna bring to us?
Instead of I watched Transformers 3 and it was better than I remember.
I watched Raiders again.
Yeah.
I watched Donnie Darko again, or the Matrix.
Yeah, give us some zhuzh up this podcast, Tyler.
All right.
We interviewed Michael St. Michaels.
Yeah,
And we wouldn't know about him if you didn't bring Greasy Strangler.
that's right.
Bullshit artist.
I
He
know.
had some health issues recently. He's okay now.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
But
Shit artist.
we have that
Yeah,
forever etched in our hard drive.
I know.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
In the memory of the Greasy Strangler.
All
Having
right.
to go through the Greasy Strangler.
I will go through my Amazon Prime and I'll see what I can find.
Don't force it. That came,
I'm not-
came naturally.
I
also
know.
used to
I'm
have
not going to
some-
force it. I'm not going to force it.
We also
I'm
have
not
some,
gonna
used to
force
have
it.
some conspiracies.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler's hot takes back in the day.
Well,
Tyler's Rage. We
Yeah.
haven't had Tyler's Rage in a while.
Well, yeah. You know what? Like, I got a lot of work to do. I took a day off to watch this movie.
That's what we want. Want that rage.
All right.
All right, Joseph, what do you got?
Okay, I have a couple. I have an eclectic group of movies here.
Okay.
The biggest surprise movie that I actually was not expecting to be as good as it was Aronofsky's Noah.
Ooh, that movie fucks.
Isn't that with Russell Crowe?
Yes, it is, and starring as Noah. And this was way better than I feel like it had any.
It's crazy.
It's like an action movie, and it takes place in a different version of the Bible because they don't refer to God as God; they refer to him as the Creator.
Yeah, back then that way they didn't have a word for it.
And the story of this starts as like Adam and Eve had birthed Cain, Abel, and Seth, a third brother who I'd never heard of.
Seth?
And then so Cain kills Abel, like in the original story. And
The Rock.
And then Cain starts his own empire of like debauchery and pillaging and stuff like that. And then Seth births Noah. Noah's a descendant of Seth. He's not a direct like son of Seth, but so there's like two sides here. There's like the Cains, and then you have the Seths.
Yeah.
Right. And Noah is of the Seths, and the Cains are the bad guys in this universe.
Okay.
And the spectacle in this movie is insane. It's
chaos.
It's a lot of magic going on. They're like wizards.
Yeah.
And Noah has a mission. He's on a mission from God, literally. He's told that there's going to be the flood, and has to build the ark and everything. And Anthony Hopkins plays his grandfather,
Methuselah,
who lives in a mountain.
Yeah.
And he's trapped there. It feels like he's just kind of like cursed to be there.
It's like exiled or something.
And it turns into Noah slowly turns into kind of like a crazy guy where his family, he seems like he's doing all these things because of the Creator, and he's making these choices because of the Creator, and they're like not. His family looks at the choices that he's making. He's like, "What are you doing? That's not a good thing that you're doing."
It's a very frailty scenario.
Yeah. It's more obviously true, but as a viewer, because like we're in this universe.
Yeah, you see it all, the truth.
Yeah, and a lot of really cool visuals. I mean, you can expect from an Aronofsky movie where they live. They're like camped out in this barren wasteland, like a black desert, right? And then he's like, "You need to build the ark." And then once that happens, this like water, I think it like this water comes from the ground, like just sprouts from the ground like a fountain. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden these like a forest is just like sprouts in the ground like instantaneously.
Oh, whoa.
To provide the wood that he's going to use to build the ark.
Okay.
And it takes place over a period of like years. He ages as he's building the ark. And there are these like fallen angels from heaven and who are being punished by the Creator, and they fall into this mud, and they're like caked in rock, and they're just like these giant,
they're like golems,
like giant, just like rock monsters, like from Galaxy Quest.
Yeah,
and Noah like talks to them, and then gets them to help him build the ark. And then all of a sudden, like at one point, all the animals just show up,
They just show
They
up.
literally just like are like all of them, all the species of all the land animals are there.
I would have liked it like a show like of Noah like trying to corral like lions and stuff.
They just come willingly.
Yeah,
they
you
just,
don't have to.
They're just like
They're just there.
They're just like they are like hypnotized or something.
We're there.
They're just like they walk into the ark and they're all just like sleeping together.
Yeah.
Like it's weird.
Yeah.
But Ray Winstone plays the main villain of the Canes, and this was super. It got super brutal. Honestly, it got very brutal towards the end of the movie
In terms of human on human violence.
because Noah has to essentially just keep only his family and the animals on the ark, and his family's like, why don't you help the people who are drowning out there? And you hear them screaming, crying outside, and he's like, can't do it.
They're like beating on the side of the ark.
Yes, and
That's chilling.
There's a point where Noah's like, we are the last humans. We are going to be the last humans. And the youngest brother, he tells the youngest son, he's like, you will be the last man on earth. And there's like a twist that happens. I don't know if I mean, I don't care about spoiling it, but
Well, then just say it.
there's a point where in the story, they find this young girl, like in her village everybody was killed in her village and she was the only survivor. And so they kind of adopted her.
Emma Watson.
And she grows up to be Emma Watson.
Ela.
And so like she's just like being raised by this family. And then at one point, her and one of the brothers kind of fall in love and they start a family.
Oh, so they're trying to subvert the incestual vibe that this story.
I guess so,
portrays.
like the biblical stories.
Yeah.
No matter what, there is going to be incest at some point.
Yeah.
I'm about to have the hardest boner right now.
Now that's subtle incest, baby.
So that happens and Noah doesn't know. And then once he finds out, he's like, what did you do? You defied the creator. And now you've ruined everything. And he tells her, he says, if it's born a girl, I'm going to kill her. That's what he says.
Okay.
If it's born a boy, then he will be the last man on earth. The logic was weird because it was, if you bore a girl, she can grow up to be a mother. I'm like, well, how she can only grow up to be a mother if she becomes pregnant.
Right.
But she could.
But by who?
Any of them.
Any of them?
Yeah.
It's,
Why not?
So
We'll just run
they're
a train on
insinuating
her.
that
They'll
one of us is gonna fuck her.
They'll just run a train.
I guess so. But
They'll
yeah,
just-
Tyler,
they'll see what
Don't say it. We're not that kind of show.
they'll see what sticks.
Don't
Consider
ew.
me a route.
Tyler, gross.
but yeah, it's but that means saying that to your daughter, and then at the beginning of her of her gestation, it's like we're waiting 9 months. She's getting more and more pregnant, and then it just cuts to she's 8 months pregnant, and then everybody's on edge. They're getting ready to leave ship. They like build this raft, and
He doesn't want Noah to kill this baby, basically.
yeah. And he looks crazy. He looks fucking crazy at the end at this point in the movie.
This is the start of Crazy Crow's career.
But yeah, this movie was like surprisingly good.
Where's this streaming at?
It's streaming on Netflix, Peacock, Paramount Plus, and Pluto TV.
I gotta say, when I saw this for the first time, watched it a couple years ago for the first time, it made me long for an entire subgenre of like Bible sci-fi.
Alternate Bible movies.
Well, it's like most of the stories in the Bible are fucking insane in the Old Testament.
Yes,
New
they
Testament,
are.
they tone it down in the New Testament. The
Tone it down.
Old Testament, God just, I'll kill all the babies. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I'll kill those bitch.
Fuck
Yeah.
those babies.
God's
I'm
like,
smoking a cigarette now. I'll kill that bitch.
that's God.
Yeah.
No, it's like God tells his armies, go invade that nation over there. And if any woman under the age of 12 or something like that, kill them. All the children, kill them. Take all the women as slaves, kill the men.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just God's orders.
He was turning people into pillars of salt.
That's the least of his, that's the least of his sins at that point. So yeah, very cool. Awesome.
Has your dad seen this movie?
I don't know.
I wonder what he would think about it.
I'll ask him.
He's a bibliophile.
Yeah. He's a man of God.
Yeah. So that's Noah streaming on a lot of places, Netflix. But okay, my next one, I caught up with Please Don't Destroy the Treasure of Foggy Mountain.
Oh, cool.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's a pretty funny movie.
Yeah, funnier than I thought.
At first, when I heard that this was like a troupe on like a new
Saturday Night Live.
Lonely Island.
Yeah.
I was like, they're just trying to do that thing. They're just trying to be like good neighbors stuff, or they're just like, it just felt like they were trying to
rip
be
off
that
somebody.
new thing. But this movie was pretty funny. It was pretty good. Conan as the dad of one of them, he was good. I mean, he's not in it that much, but he was pretty funny. That's streaming on Peacock now.
Yeah. It's an NBC property.
Yeah, definitely check that out.
Do you like the whole TikTok algorithm?
Oh yeah,
bit?
I gotta reset my. I gotta reinstall the app.
Yeah, what do I delete the app and reinstall it? Keep showing them animals fucking.
I caught up with Dix.
Oh,
the musical.
Wow.
I put myself through it, and
I like how you describe it. You put yourself.
I put myself through it because
once you experience it, Tyler, you'll understand.
It's a short movie, luckily, thank God. Streaming on Max, and there's some funny stuff in the movie. I understand what you meant now. It's like the last part of it is like an affront to God. And it's funny enough that the God is in the movie.
Yeah, in that scene too.
The last musical number.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'll say. But there's some funny stuff in this movie, but it's just surrounded by, the music is not great. And a lot of the jokes scream that they're a joke.
Yeah.
I'm a joke. Laugh.
Isn't this funny?
Yeah. But it's there's some funny stuff in it. But I gave it a 1 out of 5.
Oh jeez.
I gave it 2 stars with a heart.
Because I don't think I'll be watching this again.
How'd you like the Sewer Boys?
It was just so random.
I know.
And I liked the theme of, they look so fake and shitty.
Yeah,
I like
pretty good.
with the wigs, and then the they're not marionettes, but you can tell they're being operated by like a strings.
Yeah, they're on sticks is what it is.
Because they're just like, they're moved like this. They don't move, their limbs don't move independently.
There's no articulation.
They're just like stick, and they're just like this for the most part.
Tom Kenny voiced Backpack.
Oh yeah. Which is, I like the idea of 2 gay guys playing straight guys, and they're playing it like as straight as possible, like trying to be the most straight dudes ever. Like they're just banging chicks, and they're talking about their big dicks, and
as straight guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do it all the time. So yeah, don't watch that. It just, you've been warned twice now.
It's one of the more offensive movies ever released.
Yeah.
But funny.
I think Megan Mullally was the most obnoxious of the whole thing. The whole vagina falling off thing was really dumb.
My pussy fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I caught up with X and Pearl, both
nice.
streaming on Paramount Plus or Apple TV. I can't remember because I watched
Paramount.
Yeah, I watched them both through Apple TV, and they're both of, I think, the same quality of movie, which is that they're pretty good. X felt like Boogie Nights meets Texas Chainsaw.
Good call.
And then Pearl is the prequel to X, where you're following the old woman who lives on that farm from X.
Yeah.
And her kind of like story, which feels a little bit, there's like the themes are similar, where it's like to X, where you have Maxine, who's like, people are going to know my name. Like, I want to be famous.
Yeah.
Oh, so X is like when she's, I can't remember the actress's name, but she's the young. Yeah.
Pearl is when she's young.
Pearl's when she's young.
Pearl's when she's young. Yeah.
X is the sequel to Pearl, essentially.
Okay.
And Maxine, we don't know where that falls at this point.
I think that will fall after X.
It has to. Is her reincarnate or something, maybe?
Yeah.
Plus, isn't there 3
spiritual
X's in the title?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like,
I
maybe,
think
like,
that
Because she's a porn star. That's why.
Yeah, and she's a porn star in X, so I think it's just the same character.
Yeah.
Because the X takes place in the 70s.
But does Mia Goth play a young person in X?
Yes.
She's in it too. It's been a while. I saw that one first before Pearl. I like Pearl a lot more. Technically, I think it was better performances, but less fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
X is more of like a horror movie, slasher movie.
Straight ahead slasher, yeah.
Pearl is just like a sad story about this girl who ends up
psychological,
who gets pushed to her limits and ends up doing terrible things.
Yeah.
But they're both enjoyable. You could watch them in any order, I think. I thought about starting with Pearl and then going to X, but it really doesn't matter too much because the stories don't really matter.
They don't interact with each other.
They don't.
It's just
they're not. There's no correlation. It's just
because her character, Pearl's character in X, is her backstory is irrelevant to the story of X.
Correct.
Okay.
Other than you have a little bit more context, as I was like you once, and she's talking to Mia Goth, which is essentially herself, kind of.
Like you want.
It's the same actress, so just an old makeup. So yeah, those are streaming on Paramount Plus. And I caught up with Baby Driver. Edgar Wright's Baby Driver. Never seen it before, so
cool.
I watched it last night. And damn it, Spacey, fucking asshole! Why did you have to do those terrible things and
taint that movie?
Because he's good in this movie.
He's good.
He is good in this movie, and everybody's pretty good. Jamie Foxx was surprising in this movie, and what happens in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, super entertaining, great music, and all around just super fun movie.
John Hamm, solid.
It was interesting to see him in that kind of role, to see him in a bad guy role.
Yeah.
I was expecting John Bernthal to be in it more.
Me too. It's a bummer. First act only.
But
First heist only.
But I guess it makes sense because Spacey's character is I never use the same crew twice.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that like they kind of cycle through.
Flea's good in it also.
Yeah, he's in one small. He doesn't have any lines, does he?
A little bit. You idiot, Michael Myers, you fucking idiot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Michael Myers Halloween mask. This is a Halloween mask.
Also, a very small cameo by Paul Williams of Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh yes,
The arms dealer.
Yeah.
Pork vendor.
Violent, very violent.
Yeah.
More violent than I thought it was going to be, but it was very fun movie. And
It's on Netflix, right?
Yes, that is on Netflix, and that is it.
Great. Okay, cool. Good mix of movies there. My streaming picks for the week. I'm doing a rewatch of the Lethal Weapon series. Lethal Weapon 2 is not streaming anywhere, but can you play the ass clip? Do you have it on there?
Ass? Oh.
Yeah, the one from Lethal Weapon.
I don't have it.
You don't put it on there?
It's not on here.
Okay.
Here, just talking.
Yeah, so I'm going back through the original Lethal Weapon is one of my favorites, like action buddy cop movies of all time. It's so fucking good. I rewatched it.
Oh, I should revisit Merton Riggs' adventures.
Yeah, it's very good. But this little sound drop is from part 2.
You stick around here, I'm gonna fuck your ass.
Mel Gibson.
Is that Gibson saying
It's
that?
Mel Gibson, yeah.
On an unrelated...
He's also racist in this against Africans.
Well,
South Africans.
It tracks.
The white ones.
It tracks because I actually listened to the Mel Gibson tapes recently.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's unhinged.
Unhinged.
Are these like the voicemails or something?
Yeah.
I wish we could listen to them on the show. And we could
that's for your show. You could play that druck on your show.
Let's analyze this.
Drek. Okay, so anyways, yeah, that's not streaming anywhere, so I'm not going to talk about it. I just thought it was a really weird drop. I'm also rewatching Child's Play series right now. I'm watching the whole series. We're going to do a mega podcast guest spot on the Film Effect, where we're going to talk about the entire series for the upcoming new season of the Chucky movie or Chucky show. Mm-hmm. And there's another drop I have on there that came from Chucky himself.
I gotta go. I have a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Is Tyler's in this movie?
Wait a minute.
Weird.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Don't put that on me.
Child's Play is streaming though, so you can.
That's from the first one?
That's from the first one, yeah. So you can stream Child's Play on Fubo, Hoopla, MGM Plus, Pluto, Roku, and Tubi.
MGM has a streaming service?
MGM Plus, yeah.
Jeez.
They'll have to have plus in the title.
And LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
My favorite streaming service.
It's a good one.
So Child's Play is actually pretty fun. It's pretty good. Rewatching the series. None of the rest of them are streaming, so I'm not going to talk about that. I ended up buying the 7-movie set on DVD because it was cheaper than renting each individual movie.
Wait a minute, on DVD?
Yeah.
On video dub.
Digital video disc.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't want to spend any more money than I had to on those terrible movies. So.
First one, those movies were definitely scarier as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was terrified.
So far, number 2 is my favorite, and it's way more intense. There's like melted Chucky face, looks like a Terminator near
That's the one
end.
where he's at the foster parents.
Yes.
And so it's like a mansion that they live in.
Yeah, and then the third one is military school.
Oh,
that's the one. That's the one that I think scared me the most as a kid.
I only saw the first one.
Weak. Number 3, weak sauce. One of the kills, he doesn't even kill the guy. He just has a heart attack. He doesn't even take the opportunity to stab him afterwards.
The second one is he goes to school, right?
Yeah,
and he kills the teacher with a ruler.
Yeah, it's the woman from
or yardstick, I should say.
It's the one. It's the lady from Donnie Darko that says, "I don't believe your commitment to sparkle motion."
Oh, her.
And the Mist, same actress. Yeah,
the religious fanatic.
Yeah, her death is great in that one, in number 2. But anyways, so next up, I watched David O. Russell's The Fighter, starring Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale. Amy
I watched that a few
Adams.
weeks ago.
Fighter. That's is that the UFC one?
That's called Warrior.
Oh, Warrior.
This is the one about Dickie. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, I just watched this like a month ago.
Yeah, and when I first saw this movie, this is from 2010, and it's streaming on, let's see here, Fubo, MGM Plus, Paramount Plus. I watched it on Paramount Plus, and when I saw this when it first came out, I was in love with this movie. I thought it was so freaking good. And I think I was just kind of bewitched by Christian Bale's amazing performance.
Right.
Because he lost a ton of weight for it, a la The Machinist, not quite as much, but real gangly. He plays a crackhead. And man, he's believable. He was believable. There's this shithead Boston crackhead. And everybody else in it, well, his mom also does a pretty good job, but rewatching it, I didn't particularly care for Amy Adams' performance. She was fine.
Yeah.
And Mark Wahlberg is terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
low point.
the juxtaposition between Christian Bale's acting and Mark Wahlberg's acting has never been more of a stark contrast.
Yeah.
In any movie, I would venture to say.
I can imagine.
It's like his emotional range goes from anywhere from mildly upset to kind of happy. That's it. That's the range. And Christian Bale is like giving a knockdown, all-time performance,
quote unquote knockout performance.
Yeah, he's so fucking unlikable in Christian Bale in this.
Yeah.
So great supporting cast in this. Conan O'Brien's sister plays one of the sisters as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Watch One of the Seven Sisters.
Oh.
You can pick her out the second you realize that.
I had no idea.
Yeah. You watch her, you're like, oh, that's Conan O'Brien with the wig on. So yeah, 4.5 star movie when I first watched it. It's like 3.5 now.
Yeah.
Still good, but like the bloom is off the rose, I think, with that one.
Good, not great.
It didn't hit me that well. Christian Bale was the best part easily.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. I revisited One Cut of the Dead, which I will not spend any time talking about. We had some friends over and we watched it, and they're horror. One of them, Steven's a horror fan and a movie fan in general. And we watched it and he had a blast. And it's one of these movies I love showing people for the first time because it has so many twists and turns to it. The first 25 minutes, you're like, the fuck is this movie? Why are we watching this movie? Or I can respect a low budget movie, and then the next layer unravels and the next layer unravels. And by the end, the third act is one of the greatest third acts reveals and fun and action and all this. It's so fun. So that's streaming on AMC Plus and Shudder. If you've been on the fence about watching One Cut of the Dead, go watch it now and do not read anything into it. All you need to know is it's a zombie movie within a zombie movie, and that doesn't spoil anything. Okay. I watched a terrible movie that I heard was terrible, and I watched it.
And I still watched it.
And it was terrible. I actually didn't even finish the last 15 minutes, and I never will.
Wow.
This is called Night Swim. That's streaming right now on Peacock. This is a Blumhouse movie, and boy, I feel embarrassed ever having enjoyed a Blumhouse movie after watching this. It's so lame.
Oh, now I'm really depressed.
It's so lame. The plot is that the people move into a house and it's got a killer swimming pool. That's it. That's
so they
the plot.
jump in the pool and they
kills
die.
them?
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it like that. There's an ancient ancestral Native American
poltergeist
burial ground.
But it's a poltergeist, but with the pool.
And the stream water went from the...
Is it an
from the
in-ground
stream,
pool?
Yeah, it is. Into the pool. And that's where the magic happens.
That's where the
And
magic happens.
it's kind of like Lights Out, where you turn the light off and you see someone, and then you turn the light on, it's gone. It's kind of like that, except for you're under the water and you see somebody above the water, and then you come out and they're not there.
I like the concept. It's just...
Do you?
Yeah.
If you like this movie, then you can go straight to hell.
Okay. Well,
Exactly.
I already know I am, so
I
don't have
imagine
to worry about that.
From the outside, I thought it was going to be a movie that plays on your fears of
Like a shark being in a pool.
shark and being in the pool.
Yeah.
I've never had that fear. It's a strange fear to me.
A child's fear.
Yeah. Brianna's still afraid of that.
In a chlorinated pool, there's a great white.
I know.
Hunting children.
Especially when you're swimming alone.
Yeah. You know, swimming alone at night is its own like reward. It's its own like great experience.
Is it?
Yeah.
And for a movie, I like it. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's great.
For a movie that's called Night Swim, not a whole lot of swimming at night. Mostly during the day.
Yeah, night swim. Why is there day here?
I know. I mean, like 75% of the time they're in the pool. It's during the day.
Yeah.
So Wyatt Russell's serviceable in this. It's probably his...
Wyatt Russell.
Yeah. Wyatt Russell's the lead in it. And it heals you also. He's
heals you.
Yeah, he's a professional baseball player that had to basically take leave because he's injured.
Yeah.
It's like the fountain of youth.
And it basically is a fountain of youth, yeah. And it heals him, but when it heals you, it kills someone you love.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's really bad.
What?
It's shitty.
All right.
So
Get this.
yeah.
It's a pool. It's like stepping on a crack, breaking your mother's back.
Yeah.
But it's a pool, and you're the fool that gets in the pool, and it will kill someone else.
And it's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's exactly it. That was on the poster, actually. So
You got a regular MF Doom here.
it's not like a MF Doom, the rapper.
Who's that?
The late rapper. He's great.
Oh.
It's not like a 0-star movie. It's like a 2 because it still looks decent and there's a couple of jump scares that are okay and stuff, but it's just so boring. Nothing happens.
Yeah, it sounds like a boring. It sounds like it could have been.
Pool.
It sounds like it could have been like a really good short film instead of.
It was a short.
Oh, it was a
yeah,
short.
it's just like Lights Out. It's
It
literally
should've stayed
built-
there.
I know. So yeah, that sucks. It's streaming on Peacock. Don't watch
Yeah,
that.
that sucks. But how is that a streaming pick?
I'm doing a service to the audience.
Oh, okay.
Don't waste your time. It's just boring.
Yeah. Okay.
And then lastly, I watched a big name movie that just came out on streaming called The Zone of Interest.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched it, yeah. Jonathan Glazer is the director.
Yeah, I've been hearing
He's
a lot
the
of
writer,
buzz about that
the
one.
writer-director of Under the Skin, Birth, Sexy Beast, and what was the other one he did? I can't remember now.
Makes a movie every 10 years.
Yeah, he's elusive. He's like that, like the spotted snow leopard that only one person's ever seen.
He's very aloof.
Yeah, not aloof. Aloof means he doesn't care.
Oh.
Aloof
Or
is like
as unaware.
Casual or unaware, yeah.
Oh.
But this is streaming on Max right now, and basically the plot of it is that it follows the day-to-day life of a commandant in the Hitler's SS army, and him and his wife and their 4 children and a newborn all live in this house that shares a wall with Auschwitz concentration camp. So he works at the camp. He's like he runs the entire concentration camp. He's the one that basically built it from scratch and implemented all the death camps and implemented this. And it even shows it in one scene. He's meeting with a contractor about building a new, more efficient oven that can kill people faster.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because have you ever heard the phrase "the banality of evil"? Or I think it's
I think that's what.
I think it is the banality.
Of evil.
And it's like you think that the villain in a movie is like Dr. Evil hiding in a cave that's sculpted like a skull or something like that, and he's got this secret lair and stuff. But in all reality, it's just these basically bureaucratic evil people, and they're just like, well, if we were to build a turntable device on here, then we can be shoveling out the ashes of the remains while new ones are coming in. It's resetting the room twice as fast. And that's just one scene of him meeting with the contractors about this more efficient oven.
It's like a very sociopathic take on evil, which I find interesting.
Sociopathic take? All the evil sociopathic, but it's more like it shows just how boring it is. And the point of the movie is the movie can seem boring because you don't ever see any of the atrocities, but you hear them. So Bruce recommended that we watch, if you're going to watch this, watch it with headphones on.
Okay.
Which I did, and I think it's almost necessary.
What was this movie called again?
The Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
It was up for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And he won for Best Foreign Feature.
Is that this one for Best Foreign Feature? Oh, yeah, you're right, because he made that speech that people were pissed off about.
Bruce messaged me, and I told him I would watch it this week, and I didn't, but...
Bastard. You bastard.
I'm sorry, Bruce. I do really want to watch it because I've been talking to a couple other people about it, and just I know how it's made, which is the most interesting thing about it from a production standpoint, and like the hidden cameras and everything.
I was thinking about that too. I heard a little bit about that.
There was no crew on the set when the actors were performing. They would hide the cameras. They would set mics everywhere. There were no artificial lights that the actors could see or that they even used, I don't think.
No, they didn't use a single light.
And then the crew was hidden somewhere else watching it through a monitor, and the actors are just performing in the area in which the scene takes place, and they can't see the cameras, or the cameras are very minimal and they just perform how they are going to perform.
Yeah.
Almost like setting like a play.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
But they're just moving around the rooms or the areas that they can. I'm sure they set perimeters and lights and lines for the actors to be in.
The actual set is this person's like the family's house,
Mm-hmm.
and the backyard's like a large lot where she's got meticulously chosen gardening segments. Oh, here's where the lilacs are, and here's where the roses are, and she's like giving somebody a tour of, like her mother-in-law, a tour of the property.
Mm-hmm.
But literally on the other side of the wall is row houses of concentration camp, and then throughout the entire movie, the stacks are burning and smoke's going up into the air.
Oh, that's chilling.
It's very chilling. There's a couple of moments in there that are super impactful. Some that are more obvious, like the commandant is in the river with his small children,
Mm-hmm.
and he sees a mass of the river starts turning gray, and it's like dumping the ashes in the river.
Oh.
And he has to like hustle to get his kids out of the water because they're just playing in human remains, basically.
Yeah.
But there's things that are much more subtle than that too. Like at one point he comes in from outside and he like blows his nose into the sink. He shoots a snot rocket into the sink, and it's all caked with soot because the air is full of literally bodies turned into smoke and dust.
Does it frame him as a sympathetic character?
No.
Like,
I know that's what you were really hoping for, is a sympathetic take on the Nazis, but that you don't get it here, Tyler. Sorry. I would hate to think someone thought that I'm a Nazi. Yeah.
Because I'm curious, because of the way you're describing this movie, it seems like, does he have any guilt over what he's doing?
It's a movie. I mean, I haven't seen it, but from what I understand is that it just presents as is. This was the reality and the banality. It's like they're not viewing as like going back to the villain thing. Like they're not viewing it as this like they're doing a bad thing.
Right.
They're doing their job.
They're doing a job that they were assigned.
So it's not like there's not a redemption arc or anything like
No.
that. It's just like a presentation.
Again, there's no redemption arc for Nazis.
Well,
Nazis don't have redemption arcs.
I'm not saying. Well, that's not true.
That's not true. The Nazis don't have redemption arcs.
People can change. They don't have to be Nazis.
Where's the?
Don't worry about me. I'm not racist.
Where's the more you know? I wanted that at the end of it.
Anyways, but ultimately that was what I was like thinking. I was okay. So does this guy realize he's evil?
You gotta watch the movie.
I really do want to watch the movie.
But you're not going to.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
You don't watch the movies I recommend.
Yes, I do. It just takes me a while.
Okay, you're gonna be dead in the ground by the time you catch up with all those.
Yeah, it might be.
So ultimately, did you enjoy it or like it?
I thought it was great. Yeah, it was fantastic. And so Unforgiven is, some people call that Clint Eastwood's greatest cowboy movie, like Western movie.
Mm-hmm.
That could not have been made without all of his body of work leading up to that, because he's basically playing this like a ruffian and roughneck and outlaw, whatever, at the end of his career, quote unquote career. Mm-hmm. I've done terrible things. I've done this. I've done that. And I know it's much more than that. Listeners, feel free to write me about why I'm wrong about that. But I didn't really Unforgiven so much because I didn't have a long relationship with Clint Eastwood's career leading up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
I still never seen Fistful of Dollars or Man with No Name or Good, Bad, and the Ugly, all start to finish. I've seen clips and that's it. Westerns are a big blind spot for me.
Yeah.
And so when I watched it, I'm like, it's kind of good. And I've read a lot of these 5-star glowing reviews about Unforgiven as like the cap at the end of the career of an unofficial character, which is Clint Eastwood in Hollywood at that time. And without having seen that, I lose a lot of the perspective of it, and the greatness of that movie was completely lost on me. If you had not seen Schindler's List and Life is Beautiful and Jojo Rabbit and whatever other movies, The Boy with the Striped Pajamas, that are about the horrors of World War II from whatever perspective, or seeing the atrocities of what it is, Dyer Van Frank, familiar with that concept, Inglourious Bastards. If you don't know any of that, then this movie is going to be the most boring, lame waste of time you've ever seen.
Really?
Because all of the sounds that are happening off in the distance, sometimes loud, sometimes quiet, the burning stacks from these ovens lighting up the sky at night with orange because it's humans being burned to death by the hundreds in those buildings. If none of that, if you don't know that, if that's what you're hearing and that's what you're seeing, it's completely lost on you.
Right.
Your mind is filling in the gaps of all the stuff that the craziness that you're hearing out there with the most terrible things you can imagine. And there's a moment where you think it's going to go into it and show you, and it never does. So it's just told from the outside.
I like that.
Looking in.
So you could just be like, if you didn't go to school and learn about World War II and the Holocaust and have to watch documentaries or whatever, you could probably do with just that, but there's probably a lot of people who've seen those movies you just mentioned already. So
I think
this is.
I can't imagine someone doesn't have context for
it's mainly like younger viewers or people that just haven't exposed themselves to that yet because they're not ready. If you just watch this without knowing all that stuff, it's gonna suck. This movie's gonna suck.
Yeah,
but
like everyone's gonna have a little bit of context. But what I think is the most terrifying part, as you said, the bureaucratic evil aspect of it.
Well, there's a lot of like moments where there's meetings of these commandants and generals or whatever, and they're just talking about what their plans are. All right, we got more coming in. There's twice as many as last month, so we're gonna have to split them up between Auschwitz because this percentage, and these people get 80%, and blah blah blah. And they're like literally talking about how to process their workload,
right? And
how they've met their labor quotas. And it's like, these are things that
these are human beings that you're talking about.
These are things that I've talked about in my work, meeting labor quotas or labor goals or whatever like that. And but their output is not fixing cars and helping people get back on the road. Their output is murdering Jews by the thousands.
And drop. I really want to.
Please do not. Please have some sensitivity. But
there's no racial bigotry here.
I'm coming.
Oh God. So all that being said, Sandra Huller is her character. She was nominated for Anatomy of a Fall as well for this, or in the same year. She is answer your question, no sympathy in her whatsoever. She's talking, and the crazy thing about it is that they've built this beautiful house there over the course of years. And at some point in the movie, he has to be reassigned somewhere else. And he's kind of upset because I built this place with my own two hands, basically. And this house that they've cultivated is their like dream house for their kids to raise their kids in. But it's literally shares a fucking fence with Auschwitz.
Yeah, that's
and she doesn't want to leave. She's like, they're gonna have to drag me kicking and screaming out of this place. So he this is some spoilers here, but this is not a type of movie you can spoil, but he gets moved out to another place far away, and she's like, well, you can just go. You can just visit us when you want. She would rather stay attached to Auschwitz because she loves the fucking house and to be the boss's wife, so to speak, with these like Jewish slaves, literally slaves in her house. That at one point she's like, oh, you do that to spite me. My husband can turn you into ash that's going to pepper this field to one of the Jew slaves in the house. And she says it like she's telling somebody, be careful not to spill the milk next time.
Jonathan Glazer is himself Jewish too, the director.
Oh, it's good to know.
Yeah,
I assumed. But I read some interviews about him. The whole process behind making the film is interesting. He almost abandoned it because of the sorrow of creating a film like this.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't even imagine.
And it's like, and they're not even showing the things. I just imagine fucking Steven Spielberg making Schindler's List, how harrowing that would be. And the people on the production that are doing it. So anyways.
Imagine being, so Steven Spielberg, I think he's Jewish.
Very Jewish, yeah.
Very.
Very
Can I play it now?
Sure, go ahead.
Steven Spielberg?
Oh, that's a Jew. Okay, all right, there it is.
When he was making Schindler's List, can you imagine just being that director of that ethnicity and being Ray Fiennes in a Nazi outfit? Talking, it's just like the interaction.
Yeah,
I know it's like very professional, obviously, but it's just got to be. There's got to be some sort of layer of like weirdness about it. I know I'm not dressed as a Nazi, but I'm not actually.
Just so everybody knows, I'm not a Nazi.
I'm not a Nazi.
I'm not a Nazi.
I'm saying it right now.
And what's just also funny, like Taika Waititi dressed as Hitler, directing his scenes.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I'll say this: this is a type of movie that it adds
Friday night movie.
It really adds to the pantheon of like awareness movies for the Holocaust because who needs to be told about the Holocaust? Apparently, a lot of people who still think it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And still sympathize with the people that did it. Yeah. Some people that might be in this room right now. You know? Oh my God!
Hey, I'm working my way.
Good. I'm proud of you. Maybe Nazis can be reformed.
Yeah, I think they can be.
But it adds to this pantheon of movies that you would it's like a go-to movie to remind you of this sort of thing because Schindler's List is the far opposite side of the spectrum. And it's like a triangle. It's like the completely in your face and repulsive and
Pianist is another one.
Shocking. The Pianist would be up there with Schindler's List.
Yeah.
And then you have like the funny quadrant, which would be like
Jojo
Rabbit. And maybe, what was the other one I said earlier?
Life is Beautiful.
Life is Beautiful, yeah.
And then you have somewhere in the middle, which the zone of interest lies, where it's not in your face, But use your imagination. It's like reading a book. If you can visualize it, if you can hear those sounds and visualize what's happening, it's terrifying.
Yeah, you can infer.
There's like what that was like a saying. It's like it's what you don't see, but like hearing can be worse because your imagination can just run wild more than what is just presented in front of you.
Yeah, and it lets you come to the conclusions that you come to. There's a lot of unexplained things in here, which begs you to lean into the movie and be like, why did they shoot that in black and white? Why is that shot in thermal or infrared?
Infrared.
Well, it's because number one, it's that the scene is taking place at night.
Yeah.
And they don't have any lights on the production. And maybe that one action that person is doing is the only positive of the entire movie.
Yeah. What I've heard is that portrayal of evil in this movie is like something that hasn't really been seen in movies.
It is banal. Their interactions, their conversations, and Sandra Holler playing the wife of the commandant is truly evil. She only cares about how all of this is affecting her, and it's been affecting her good because she's got fur coats she's getting from the Jews. She's got diamond jewelry. She's got lipstick. She's giving clothes away to her friends, so her friends love her. And they're like, I got this nice dress. I got it from France.
Yeah.
When she means a French Jew that was killed on the camp. Oh, they think I actually mean Canada. No. And and then on top of that, when she's basically has the opportunity to leave and take all the prestige with her, she's like, no, I've built this. This is my home. This is me. And it made me think about billionaires that are just fine with the way they live. And they're like, yeah, my life is great. I don't care that hundreds of thousands of people have to suffer to get me as rich as I am.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, it unwrapped a lot of thought to me. So that's Zone of Interest.
Sounds very thought-provoking.
Yeah, that's Zone of Interest. That's streaming on Max. Watch it if you dare.
Good sound design from what I hear.
It's very good. Yeah. And you don't have to, if you don't have your headphones in, turn the volume all the way up because the sounds are very subtle.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it for me.
Cool.
So Tyler, you got anything else you need to bring to us?
No, I believe that's it for myself.
Joseph, you good?
Good.
Okay, so thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather Sachs, Ryan, Corbin, and Chris. And thank you, Javier, for last week for filling in for Tyler. Fake Tyler did a banner job, did a great job. A lot of people wrote in to say they did a fantastic job, and we were happy to have you. So thanks, buddy. And then also thank you to everybody watching on YouTube Live and otherwise, and the OG listeners in podcast land. Until next time. There it is. Thank you for following us as we gab and chatter. Follow us later on in the week as we watch Windy City Heat. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail, why don't you, at 209-730-6010. I don't know why I deleted it.
Follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
That's right. Check us out on the YouTube page at Middle Class Film Class.
Yeah. Name of the show.
Yeah. You can't escape us. All right. See you next time.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.